for the bird lover. The rest of the group wants to see big cats. While Brent continues the search, Grant still has miles of backcountry road to cover on his delivery run. And at headquarters, things are coming together as the crew puts the finishing touches on a new water system. Now that they have a clean water source, they need a way to store it. Using a ramp, they're going to haul a couple 100-pound water tank to the top of the tower.
We must just hold it so that that thing doesn't slip off.
They have one shot at it. If the tank falls and cracks, it'll be weeks before they can get a replacement.
The worst case is that this whole thing falls. The second worst is that I get killed. Otherwise, there's not a hell of a lot that can go wrong.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, slowly, slowly, and guide it here, please. Slowly, slowly. Keep it on, keep it on, keep it on. You're not keeping it on, guys? More. There we go. Okay.
Okay, let's go. Hoja.
Slowly, slowly, guys.
Hoja. That pole is bendy.
Bring the pole this way. If you pull too much, that whole thing will fall on their heads. Push them that way. Wait, guys, wait. Slowly, 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 Colin. That's fine, guys.
Do it.
Once they run supply lines, Lataka headquarters will once again have a steady stream of drinking water.
It's all the way around. It's a fantastic achievement. And we've got Adelaide watching in the background, I can hear. I'm hoping Adelaide will be able to drink clean water and not be able to give me a hard time.
Wow.
With clean water flowing again, it's back to business at the office. Out in the bush, things aren't running as smoothly. Brent's still struggling to find big cats. But as the group hits a wide stretch of river, they see an animal that's just as impressive in its own right. A solitary bull elephant drinking at the river's edge.
That's a nice sized bull there. Unlike the cows and the young, the bulls often hang out on their own, sometimes in small groups.
The 6-ton elephant is oblivious to their presence.
That's a lot of water.
It's about 15 liters at a time that they can take up in their trunk, so it is a lot of water.
But he's not the only big mammal in the water.
Just look at the hippo beyond him as well.
Seeing a hippopotamus is a high point for Mark.
To hear the hippos is also completely different than what I'd expected. You really hear this kind of spraying of water and a snorting sound. It was really unexpected.
So is there anything going on between the elephant and hippos, or
They do fight on occasion, particularly when it's a small water source. But in a river like this, the hippo will generally give way to the elephant. So he took some takeaway water. This big bull elephant has no idea that we're here. And once he does, I've got a pretty good idea of what he's going to do. But I think it's going to be a surprise for my guests.
As they watch quietly, the bull pays them no mind. But out here, everything can change in an instant. The bull suddenly turns his attention from the river and sizes up the safari vehicle, deciding whether to stand down or go on the offensive.
It was coming towards us, and we're all sort of sitting back in our seats.
It advances on the vehicle, ears flared in warning.
So when the 6-ton bull turned around and flapped his ears at us, I think the guests, they got a really big shock.
But then, seeing no threat, it backs down.
He's just telling us to remember who's the biggest here. It is aggressive in a way, but it's just, listen guys, I'm the big boss here, and by putting his ears out like that, he's trying to make himself look bigger. It generally works though, it's quite an impressive display.
Yeah.
Brent is so chilled, as if we're passing a butterfly.
They're pretty impressive creatures. When you get close to them, you get a feeling for your place in the environment. It's quite humbling.
Meanwhile, Grant races to camp to replace the food eaten by hyenas the night before. Without these supplies, the group will run out of food before the end of the safari. He's almost there when he hits a deep river crossing. Halfway across, he gets stuck.
I go into the river crossing,
And immediately I just feel my back right drop down against the mud, and I know that I'm in trouble. Enough whining. Time to start working. Oh.
Hopefully he can dig himself out, but being alone means there's no one to look out for crocs and hippos.
Working like this in the water, I am totally exposed. If something comes at me, by the time I realize there's a problem, it's going to be way too late.
Oh, that wasn't me. This is really good.
Grant lets some air out of his tires. He's hoping to gain extra traction in the slick mud.
I'm hoping plan A is gonna work. Seldom does.
The left side of the vehicle is completely sunk in the soft river bottom.
Here it goes.
The only way to clear it, dive into the murky water, where who knows what may be waiting.
This tire is flat down. Springs are in the mud. This is the problem tire. I'm under a huge amount of time pressure to get to camp. People are waiting for me. I know that if this fails, it's going to turn guests from kind of happy and in a good mood into starting to go like, what kind of a safari company is this?
While Grant is stuck in the river, Brent is trying to get out of a rut of his own.
It's late afternoon on day 2, and we still haven't found any big cats, but I'm not giving up because I know that they're here.
Suddenly, he sees a promising sign.
You see these vultures in front of us here? More coming in from the left above us.
Are they circling us?
Vultures track herd movements and swoop in once they see a kill.
The vultures are all heading into that tree, so that's probably where the kill is.
What kind of vulture are we dealing with?
That's white-backed vultures and hooded vultures that I can see so far.
Soon they see why the vultures are here.
Look, look, look.
They're picking over the remnants of an impala carcass.
You can see the difference in the two species of vultures here. This little guy that's close to us with the red face, that's a hooded vulture. And the majority of all the other vultures are white-backed vultures.
The white-backed vulture has a wide bill suited for ripping big chunks of meat off of a carcass. The hooded vulture has a smaller beak.
That narrow, fine bill of the hooded vulture is ideally suited to picking the tendons out of joints and getting in between the bones to get all the small pieces of meat.
It's not long before they see what took down the impala. A pack of African wild dogs. Their rounded ears and unique coat give them a distinctive look. Groups of a dozen or more will team up to hunt larger prey like antelopes.
You can see that this guy's obviously been hunting. His face is full of blood. So this is obviously what the vultures have come down for.
The dogs and vultures dance around the remaining scraps. These growing pups have eaten their fill.
Happy little puppy.
But they still try to keep as much meat away from the vultures as they can.
I got a rib.
That was really quite amazing. It just looks so cute with his big ears and everything.
I'm so thrilled that the guests got to see a wild dog, but unfortunately that doesn't count as a cat, and I really need to find a leopard or a lion for these guys.
20 miles southwest of Mahoto Camp, Grant is still trying to figure out how to get out of the river. His plan is to jack the vehicle up and add something under the wheels for traction, but the sun is sinking fast.
In this particular piece I chose because it's nice and flat. I'm going to put the high lift jack on this to jack up. It's going to stop the jack from getting stuck in the mud. Jacked up all the tires, put wood where there should be wood. And now I've got to give it a bash and hope to hell I'm going to get out of here. Let's hope. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. You know you want to. Yes.
Luckily for Grant, the plan works.
Well, the good news is I'm out the crossing. The bad news is I've got another 20 miles of bush driving to go, and it's already getting dark.
As the sun disappears over the horizon, Brent pushes into the night, still trying to find leopards and lions for his guests.
So far, I've managed to find wild dogs, which is really exciting, but what we really need on the safari is big cats.
They often come out to hunt under the cover of darkness, so Brent decides to lead the group on a night safari.
We use the spotlight to look for the eye shine, and we can see things like honey badgers, hyenas, leopards, all sorts of things that you're not really going to see during the day. Can I see the hyena? Just in front of my light here. Looks like he's out on an early patrol.
Hyenas are skilled hunters, often isolating prey like antelopes from a herd, then chasing them for miles.
If they find a food source or something that they need backup for, they'll call in the rest of the clan to come and help them to secure that food source.
They run very funny.
They do run very funny. That's because their forelegs are longer than their hind legs, so the whole hyena has a sloped appearance.
Indian dog family.
They belong to their own family, the Hyenidae. They're actually more closely related to cats than dogs.
Mating and scent marking behavior of hyenas is similar to cats, but they physically resemble dogs and hunt with their teeth, not their claws. As Brent scans the area for other predators, he spots something moving in the tall grass.
Oh, there we go. See the eyes?
Well, it's so small.
When I first saw these eyes in the spotlight, I thought this was another hyena, but it turns out it was something completely different.
It's something most safari guests will never witness. One of the rarest finds in the entire Okavango Delta.
That is seriously an amazing thing to see. See the eyes?
What is it?
Judging by the habitat that it's in, this could be a leopard, but it turns out it's something even more special.
It's a small cat called a serval, and it's one of the hardest animals to find in the Delta.
We're so fortunate to be able to see this cat, and he lives primarily in this dense grass around the rivers, so very, very difficult to see and almost entirely nocturnal. It's a really, really pretty cat.
Servals are about 3 times the size of an average house cat. They hunt along the river, preying on birds and rodents.
Anything that moves along this river that he can swallow, he will kill and eat. Look at this, he's hunting. They've got very good hearing, so if they hear something scurrying in the grass or making a bit of noise, they just leap up in the air and try and bat it with their front legs.
Servals have a long neck and the longest leg-to-body ratio of any wild cat in the Delta.